everyone, welcome back to another beer video on Sheer to Beers. This is something new I'm going to be doing. I've been decided that I want to probably travel each month to a different city and see what their beer scene is like. We've been to 2 cities so far. I've took my camera, I've took a little bit of video, mainly pictures. I've been to a ton of places. This is the very first one, and we're going to start with Cleveland, Ohio. Living in Central Ohio all my life in Columbus, as I started drinking beer, obviously Great Lakes has been the predominant brewery, you know, the kind of the big boy of Ohio. So I really wanted to go there. I was excited to get to their pub. We left on a Monday when I got home from work at 5:30. Went on our way to Great Lakes and we got lost. So made a wrong turn and ended up passing the Brew Kettle, which is another brewery that I knew was up there but had no idea where it was. So we didn't stop there right away because it was so late. We ended up getting to Great Lakes around 9 o'clock or so. We ate some food, enjoyed a nice sausage sampler, and Audrey enjoyed some pizza, so that was pretty good. We got to try a few of their beers. When you go into Great Lakes, you shouldn't expect a huge tap list. It's very, very small. They offer a lot of their main beers that you can buy in the store, and then they offer there are 2 actually selections that are pub exclusive, I would think. They were offering the Cleveland Brown Ale, which I've seen on tap at other places. I don't think they bottle it. And they were also offering an Abbey Ale. We tried both of them. The Abbey Ale was definitely our favorite out of the 2, but the Brown Ale was also very good. It was a quick trip in there, but the overall experience was really great. A really mellow place with a nice interior, a cool vibe. Definitely worth a trip up to Cleveland. I want to go back to do a brew tour sometime in the near future. There's another brewery right down the street, actually pretty much across the street from Great Lakes, called Market Garden. We went into Market Garden just for one beer, but it seemed like a really, really cool place. Very almost upscale, modern, new, business-like. You know, when we went in, there were some people wearing suits and stuff, and cool. I tried a double IPA that was brewed with Citra hops, and that was phenomenal. A great, great beer. I loved it for sure. I would definitely go back just for that. I wish I could spend more time there, but overall that place was very, very nice, very modern, very upbeat. A nice place. Now, I'm pretty sure that they own the place across the street. It's just a beer bar called the Bier Markt. Bier Markt carries a ton of Belgian-style beers on tap. They even had a list of sour wild beers that were a little too pricey for me. They fit the price range. They weren't expensive by any means. I just didn't feel like dropping the money on one. So I just decided to have a Duvel on tap, and Audrey had a Delirium trim. And so stuff we've had before, but the atmosphere of this place was amazing. It was just this lounge, kind of, red fabric hanging, covering some places, really, really dark, and a lot of Belgian-style beers. It was very, very interesting. Definitely a nice. So we walked down the street. There's another place called NanoBrew, and I think that's owned by Market Garden as well. They are supposed to have a nano system where they brew small batches. I talked to the bartender, and he said they really don't do it a lot anymore. But I ended up getting a NanoBrew. It was a black rye IPA, and it was phenomenal. A great, great beer. I was blown away by it. I would definitely go back just to try that. There's so much good beer in that little square. And this bar is really, really small, very, very casual. I think it's a bicycle bar technically, is what it's called. It's very, very open. It's just a kind of one hallway. That's all you got. You can see a small brewing system, but the bartenders were cool, and the beer selection was very, very good for such a small place. Definitely worth the trip back. So in the morning, we actually went back to the Great Lakes gift shop. I bought a glass, I bought a poster, and we bought a bottle of their Pilsner. Went back up on the rooftop that morning around 11 and drank the right pills on top of the roof with a great view of the city. We ended up at the Flat Iron. This is, I guess after we left, we found out this is the oldest Irish pub in Cleveland. When you go in, you didn't really get that vibe. You kind of got like a more of a modern but not so nice Irish pub. Maybe one that was built in like the early 90s or something. Nothing too special, but I guess it's very old. They've obviously remodeled a lot of times. The beer selection was okay, nothing too crazy. They had a better bottle selection than they did tap selection. I tried a local beer. I can't even remember the name of it actually. The person didn't know. I think it was a Christmas ale. It was okay. Nothing too special. And that place was pretty good. I had meatloaf, and it was nice. I don't know if I would go on my way to visit it again, but it was a decent stop on the trip for some good lunch, and we toured the city a little bit. We ended up backtracking to where we got lost and went to the Brew Kettle, which was a great place. It's a giant giant place, a huge seating room, a huge long bar. And as you walk back the hallway towards the restrooms and you walk around the corner, they have their brewing, brew your own beer set up back there. So there's people brewing beer, at different times in the afternoon as you're sitting there, eating or drinking. You can walk back and look at, everyone brewing. As you can see, that there's guys back there making beer constantly. They have a little cooler with some beer to take home if you want to buy some. And then their tap selection is very, very nice. They had at least 10 to 12 taps, which were filled with great beer. You could do samplers where you just marked them out. So that's what we did. We just tried, I think we tried almost 10 different beers, maybe 8. And a lot of good stuff, a lot of okay stuff. Their beer, to me, was all right. It wasn't anything too special. I've had some of it, not a lot of it, but nothing really blew me away. So the beer was slightly disappointing, but overall, the place was really, really good. They had some good beer on tap, so we tried some of their chicken wings, too, with their buffalo sauce, and those were amazing. I would recommend that to anyone. So we got talked into going to Fatheads, and at this point, it's around 5 o'clock, and then, I figured, why not? Let's go check out Fatheads. So glad we did, because Fatheads was probably my favorite location on the trip by far. When you walk in, it's a huge bar that kind of circles around towards the back of the first room, and you go into the second room. The place is huge. It's gigantic, and it's more of just it has a restaurant, but it has a nice pub feel. In the first room you walk in, the second room is kind of the restaurant. They have probably 30 to 40 taps at least. Not just with their beer, but a ton of different beer on tap. And on cask, they had their Fathead Headhunter IPA. Second bottle I bought was a Jolly Pumpkin beer, and split that, and it was very good. But the atmosphere was just amazing. They have these deep fried mushrooms that were very, very good. And I would recommend going to Fatheads if you are in Cleveland for sure. So overall, it was a really quick Monday night, Tuesday day trip to Cleveland. If you want the specifics, I'm going to write a blog write-up about this. I just started my blog, so you can see it on there. I'm going to try to post links to each place and the directions and everything eventually. But a quick trip, if you want to do a quick trip like that, it's a lot of fun. You get to drink a lot of good beer. I had a great time. So overall, it's a very small portion of Cleveland that I visited, but I think I hit a lot of the best places that they have to offer. I'm not going to really give the city a rating, but I would recommend going to try it. It seems like a great beer city, and they have a lot of good things going. I visited a small amount of them, but they were all very, very unique and very, very good overall. So if you can get up there, definitely stay at the Cleveland Hostel. You'll have 3 or 4 places you can go to right within walking distance. And we went in December. It was cold, but we didn't mind. It was a nice trip up to Cleveland. So if you guys know any more places in Cleveland, leave me some comments. Let me know. I'm definitely probably going to make a trip back up there. And I want to hopefully travel to another city here soon. I did go to Pittsburgh, so you'll see a video on that coming up in the near future. We're looking at maybe Indiana, somewhere in Indiana next, or maybe Kentucky, some Cincinnati, something like that. But if you guys know a good city to go to, let me know in the comments, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more reviews and city reviews. Until next time, see you later.